Hello, hello, the species value nature. My name is Anthony Wall. Not a police form, not a criminal, not a reporter, but I caught the reporters involved with a whole bunch of natures of crimes. They have, and with Saudi families, they stole the identities of because they used them with narratives where our investigators were criminally involved with the Trade Center attack. Their motivations were per their roles with crime methods bonded originally and still not let told on. And they use standing methods pretending they're titles. In other words, standing evidences rackets, roles, interbranch, forging names, switching names, criminal uses of Facebook to steal identities, criminal uses of YouTube to steal identities, to make algorithm. In other words, they're preventing worse than extortion, stealing from people, slandering people, putting crimes against lies into databases of the people, and then tying that to sensibilities with their crimes with drugs, with the drugs clicks through time. As the men and women involved further with child offenders with Weathersfield High School and Weathersfield Middle School and Weathersfield children's schools further with the child offenders proven they first forced criminally. They're not letting me have a counter their crime acts. They're pretending that we should sue to stop recorded online identity thefts and sexual crime acts against the women and men of the family members of the little kids they're exploiting from off campuses with sustained on-off campuses relationships with police firms that are very ill, with medical families involved with various natures of courts with crime acts and crime natures recorded. They're forging names and switching names and pretending we should sue, but while preventing us means to. These are people that were lying to the attorney generals with states attorney generals. The state of Connecticut needs judicial. We need federal stewardship of the state originally and still. This is what George Washington had to leave overt slavery with color entrenched in Connecticut for. He wasn't for that. You got your minds. Now, so we're gonna call this place again because they stack too many natures of crime acts that they pretend they don't know what they're doing, which is why we have to have them taken from the news. They can't be telling the news fake sides of correlation nature, no fake middle, physical delusions, and criminal foreign influences. With and has the value of that. Misprision. See that word? Look that word up. Let's go here. In other words, they have it's recorded. I did Facebook pages, YouTube pages regarding it. They're pretending to be me in a passion crime with a picture they took from Facebook and they took from WFSB's fake both sides of stories, and they're hiding lie progressions because they were using criminally the identities of all locations, using our systems. Their time they're going to know this person goes to this location. They're using fact treatment nature rackets. They're using the sensibilities of everyone conformed to crime roles with originally and still criminally foreign influence, interbranch, and private tied to them. Criminally foreign influence, delusions raw also, and with other nations shared policing sick, individually grouped and together, and with overt criminal enterprises, and with the left to be charged, private ones recorded still too many at once, valued not by accident, because we're in these sick value nature systems as markets positions, tactically ulterior from value nature's actual progression system. So this is torture. 860-728-33.
And thank you for calling WFSB Channel 3, home of Eyewitness News.
They know.
Calling to report
So if you ask to report the crime acts, they pretend they don't understand. That's what the interbranch families do, because then you're going to have to refer to them, and they're going to lie about what's actually recorded, as they do. They've been forging names, switching names, interbranch. Foreign and domestic military facilitated the crimes intercity on off the campuses with other, Kuwaiti military. These are crimes with body dumping spot of Billy Grasso. than with a serial killer body dumping spot, with the predicate acts associated with the military families associated with identity thefts with them, with uses of titles they can't defend into people's faces because they were used for identity thefts. These little rap mobs that want to be called rap mobs because then they can pretend they had a conversation with you. They know you.
Hello, and thank you for calling WFSB Channel 3, home of Eyewitness News.
It's also recorded how they use, this crime method effectively had everyone entertain the narratives respecting databases that are criminally foreign influence, respecting the legal identities tied to that. The second you do that, in other words, with their Me Too treatments, criminally used as a tool because they need tools to lie, to pretend they don't prevent mandated law. No, mandated law is you're not supposed to, through time, force not told and stacked natures of crime acts against people needed to report child abuses, needed to report confessions regarding the various natures of courts with their police that were criminally involved, leading up to and in cases with uses within as their value of their uses of depositions, fake sides of fact sheet agents. They use lawyers criminally for fake sides too, consciously fake sides, fake middle, physical delusions juxtaposed. Not one is rose.
For questions regarding Channel 3 Eyewitness News now, please press 4. To hear this message again.
So it's also recorded and confessed and demonstrate how sickly. Then they use Facebook when they have that invested in the markets position. And where those markets positions are reliant upon everyone's needs, we're in a system that never reached out to everyone in the first place. Value nature system that left people forsaken, tortured, and by our founders to demonstrate. That's where you sacrifice, right here. Follow mandated law. Hello. Someone just picked up the phone and hung up. We'll call again. 860. I've done this many times. They're criminally lying about. They stole my identity, so now they have to lie about every time we communicate. People with WFSB, with WFSB with the court recorded also having criminally prevented. They hid our request for help because they recorded. They've stacked a fake arresting officer, a whole bunch of fake police reports from the various natures of cities when there wasn't even an arrest when I was at the location originally. First, they had a promise to appear with an East Hartford officer and Wethersfield officers regarding CCSU, on-off CCSU predicate acts, various natures of crime. There are crime rolls with that, also with houses on Church Street, a house on the corner of Church Street and Main Street, and businesses and locations all the way up from there to CCSU, with on-off Paul Manafort Drive used by them criminally with Russians and pretending to be against it criminally. These are Russians they have involved with them too, with psychology, with the doctors recorded criminally involved with the courts, forging names, switching names with courts, pretend they had conversations with me that weren't at all.
Company directory, please press 1 now.
Your wall.
News department, please press 2 now. For the sales department, please press 3. For programming, press 4. For promotion,
we'll try 4 this time. Programming. Shit.
Hi, you've reached the Fox, Connecticut and WCCT TV programming department. Sorry we cannot take your call at this time. Please leave a message. We will get back to you as soon as we can. Thank you.
Please leave your your message after the tone. When done, hang up or press the pound key.
Hello, my name is Anthony Wall. My number is 860-529-5536. There are a number of people who made confessions and recorded crime acts with kids as police forms and as the courts and as their roles with WFSB recorded and confessed. They also used WFSB made fake conversation with me. They never let me have a side of the story, and they attached me to fake positions, fake relationships to others, as they did with little kids that they were involved with criminal abuses of. And this is recorded online, and they're recorded pretending others recorded online. And they're using and have been using Facebook criminally, inter-branch and inter-campuses. They the fake. They arrested me for harassment for calling back the people with the confessions and the people that were brought up with the crime acts with the kids, proven with child offenders they forced at the time with a principal child offender, further involved with his campus though, and inter campuses. This is from off campuses, so it's keeping the sensibilities of the people of the campuses. Also, with they're keeping their family members criminally involved. Too many natures of crime acts at once. So please fix the fake news and the identity thefts where they have the picture from your fake news pretending to be me on all these different YouTube accounts, all these different Facebook accounts. They're pretending to be me in passion crimes against a woman. A Saudi woman. One of the Saudi women they use also a Saudi woman associated with West Farms Mall. A whole bunch of people associated with a Kurt Demoro and with a Scalora clique, and people associated them with West Farms Mall recorded and confessed crimes with foreign and domestic families, with on-off CCSU, with criminal justice. These fake news was stealing my voice, stacking natures of crime acts, and not let me report any one of them. And you attach me and kids to fake conversations, relationships to others. They need me to speak through others. I want to speak for myself. And I want to have that responded to because they attached me to fake words. They hid their confessions to me and others. They hid their. Are you on the line? I don't know if this thing is still recording. So. They hung up. We'll try a different department. 860-728-3333. Now this is WFSB, which I believe is CBS.
And thank you for calling.
No, associated with
Channel 3.
the crimes with Russians recorded here, and involved with a Leahy family and with Hartford Hospital's campus crime acts, predicate acts, all natures of crimes, sequences, forging names of other doctors, attaching me to fake conversations about federal criminals and about cases with the federal criminals in those cases, associated crimes with his kids. Also involved criminally with them. The whole family works with the triage in Hartford Hospital. Other triages are criminally involved with uses of their databases and of other people's names. This is how they're keeping criminally foreign influence branches and all private tied to them. Fake sides and trade center agreement non-worth as our counters and everything. Everyone needs counters, even because they're upper swan.
I did not recognize that as a valid entry. Hello, Cisco's Unity Messaging System. From a touch-tone telephone, you may dial an extension at any time. For a directory of extensions, press 4. Otherwise, please hold to leave a general message. Sorry, there is no operator available at this hour. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hello, my name is Anthony Wall. WFSB it stole my identity to a fake conversation that never was at all with them in a story. And the picture they used in that was by police recorded that arrested me with lies so they could hide from what I caught them doing with kids, criminal uses of kids in their campuses, sex crime act, criminal uses of Facebook for rape threats, crimes and uses of the Facebook of New Britain Superior Court, the various nature of courts used in their and the campuses using their Facebook criminally, using the identities of titles like with military families involved criminally with the area through time, and foreign and domestic with identity thefts. They have the picture from WFSB with fake YouTube pages, fake Facebook pages pretending to be me through time. And they use a torture method where if you try to report the crime acts, they stack more natures of crime acts against you. And they forge names and switch names. And they make confessions to me and others. So then they use that time where they attach me and others to fake impressions, more tortures, time impositions, legal money impositions. This is worse than extortion. And they need to respond because they're lying to the attorney generals. They're hiding this from attorney generals of the United States. Like, see, then they make jokes and pretend that's comedy, where they're making fun of Sessions, and the Connecticut. They're going to pretend they have the integrity to question the new attorney general being on the way to that. Probably. We have all we need recorded. No, this is 860-529-5536. Please fix the fake news crime acts fake story with me and respond to the rest of the confessions and crime acts with the kids, with the principal offender, child offender campus, because there are more judges and police and people with that court and through time and with intercity courts and their family members criminally involved, recorded, confessed, demonstrated. They're involved with people that I don't know at all that have been pretending other too, and with all exceptions, criminally exploited. There was a Phil Cololo who went to my mother for real estate to buy a house one time, and she didn't want to do business with him because he was weird, and he was rude, but he also pretended he knew me. To my parents, see how they make it look like, because these are people that are hiding lie progressions because they were from crime rolls with the O'Brien family through time. That's also recorded and confessed, and with the rest of the people on and off the campuses criminally involved, and with the courts clicks, their drug clicks, and their identity theft clicks, and their sequence nature shifting clicks, and they have to lie about me because they have no integrity. They have to lie about the behavior of everything online too. They've been using online criminally, especially nations individually grouped together with physical delusions, with all natures of criminality, with psychology. So they're forging names, switching names. Give me a response. These are various natures of courts criminally involved. That's why we're going to need federal stewardship of the whole state, and you need to fix your fake news crime acts, and that's a problem because it's also tied to abuses of intercity with the schools and against their teachers, because you're pretending to be me in passion crimes where you have one of the Saudi girls' names in it. It's saying Maranim Al Mansour's new lover, and it's got a picture of me. And this is one of the and I don't know the name of the other Saudi girl that was repeated, confessed, and demonstrated associated with someone who lived on Covington Street, who confessed that he worked at Nordstrom, tied to that, and all natures of other criminal uses of his family and people there, with the courts involved with crimes leading up to cases, in depositions, and then in cases with crime methods, natures, acts, and roles originally and still tied to what used color originally and still. This crime method, because this is also black and white female judges recorded crimes with KKK themed child offenders.
You are approaching the maximum length for a recording. Finish your recording after the tone.
So, the thing respond so everyone, I can counter how you're attaching me and my family member, forcing me to come. They pretended I tried to speak about things to my family members. I never did at all either.
Maximum length for recording. To send this message, press pound or hang up. To play it, invalid selection. Try again. To send this message, press pound or your message has been sent. If you would like to try an extension, you may do so now.
So there are way more natures of crime acts and roles and motivations, criminal foreign influences and uses of WFSB beyond that. Beyond all the natures of crime acts, lies they told and slanders against me they told through kids. And this is through time. And you should see the recorded, this is maintaining negative value nature progression, acts and natures blamed on other things, others themselves. And that having been valued originally, specifically for this long term, to keep it valued as a breaching organized crime method, to keep states and areas criminally foreign influence, in collusion, and pretending other people in collusion criminally, as states and areas criminally foreign influenced. This is an organized crime conversation because they're roles with predicate acts like mail crimes, wire crimes, uses of that sick. Now let's go. You can't, in other words, they also pretend that in other words, if they hear me lie or yell online, they can't speak about that honestly because in the background they attach me to fake yelling with a Lombardo woman and her family members also involved with drug crimes, with this Leahy family, with the crimes with child sex offenders, with overt criminal enterprises, with people further with the schools, like with also federal criminals associated with crimes with the FBI personally, including a defendant FBI director, since before they were using Mueller and Comey criminally. These are people that have been using on-off job sites criminally, the same way they've been using Facebook criminally since it came out, since before it came out. These are database crime roles, criminal uses of the identity of the ground, of the value of each person. This is an identity. These are natures of identity theft crime acts roles. So we're going to examine how this is tied to intercity schools because they have connections that are manifest because of the criminal uses of CCSU and of Trinity College, of UConn, involved intercity, especially with Hartford and Wethersfield, because this is where and how George Washington had to leave overt slavery right before the last battle of the war, meeting here with the French general. Trinity College was reportedly originally called George Washington College. And they're obfuscating the Trinity, each age of it, each campus. Nothing personal against the campus. This is from off campuses, maintained on off campus collusion because everyone's speaking through others. This is a fact cheating nature racket. This is where fact lies are federal crimes. So we have to have these are influences and maintained criminally foreign influenced sciences as well, from off the ground of education and off campuses into branch, inter industries, on off campuses again, maintained each age of fact treatment nature, hurt correlation nature, misprision, each individual group dash sex slash species nature of volume. This is real science. What is positive onto those three natures of volume simultaneously? When we are that simultaneously, it is individual nature of volume first in sequence, because these are also sequence shifting natures. That's how this is. I figured this out. They could only be so evilly and insidious from this having been the original and stayed breaching organized crime method, which it demonstrably is. Where they're using databases criminally. Learned in CCSU that people were forced to internation monitor database relationships with crazy laws. If anyone tried to discuss building infrastructure like home pathology outside, this is before cars, outside of internation monitor database relationships, they did 6 things to them and their family, made everyone see it. like with witch trials. We don't have the fact-keeping nature of slavery of our founders demonstrated, recorded. And that fact-keeping nature of slavery is what our American history is really about. See, we don't have mandated law follow, and they make up lies in the background. The court was also, they're with wire crime methods preventing the phone from being used to call people. They're with forging names, switching names, preventing people from going into police stations to report things or into the courts to report things because they're already criminally involved, and they're pretending legally, but they're not. They've been criminal in cases already through time, criminal with the uses of the value of our human value and treatment nature. That's also why Franklin Avenue, Hartford, Connecticut, New Britain, Connecticut. There are people that barely know me, but they're mixed with people that don't know me. In other words, they're maintaining the only realized connections of uh, of suburbs and cities used to blame the other things, others, and causes, the real causes of negative value nature progressions that sickly, non-distinctly hurts the suburbs and the cities with the same roles and rackets and natures and methods. But see, this is also sickly, distinctly, effectively keeping qualities of fact, treatment nature, sensibilities, natures, that are influenced by their roles with titles and interbranch, fake positive as criminal insidiousness nature positive with sensibilities, behavior by that, with the organized crime, what's positive to a criminal enterprise is not positive to science, and then it needs to pretend to be science. So this is what the New York Game's about: the organized crime method that used slavery and of our founders. We don't separate it, and we don't stop. Inherently, actively, and progressively, we're going to examine what was on tribes A through Z before, and colonists A through Z, that they were blaming on other things, others themselves, because the base of education was taken away from everyone. The quality of education forced them reliant upon sensibilities only capable of, defending themselves, incapable of countering, branches criminally foreign influence. That's what was the motivations of witch trials. They didn't really believe that there were witches. The people that pretended that it's because there were drugs involved, and they don't even make that exception. That's because their nature of liars that value that today, because they're still involved with those natures of criminal justice rackets, interbranch rackets, all privatized to them, into areas, because this is from off campuses. This maintains each age of fact-keeping nature, valuing, having had valued, and needing to value her correlation nature, which is Trinity nature, to maintain fake sides, fake middle, and with physical delusions. They've been coaching girls to spread lies about me to cover up the lie progressions of WFSB with all natures of Primax roles, fake Facebook pages to be pretending to be me and people of my family through time. And then when they sustain this, and everyone's they're just going to be nice to officers and stuff like that. Because what are you going to do? You know what I mean? They're going to take that, and then they're just going to keep stacking federal crimes against us. Audacious sequence shifts, identity theft crime acts, rules, uses of other people, everyone speaking through each other, which is part of their roles with the women, judges and people, with the court, with the men, also criminally involved. How they were motivated to it, leading up to that, for their crimes in other cases, and leading up to that. What's bringing people into cases, into charges, is often arresting people that would have stopped a lot of hurt with their mouths. But see, they're preventing this. They're using guns criminally interbranch. They're using gavels criminally interbranch. They're using pens criminally interbranch. They're using databases criminally interbranch. They're using their physical delusions and their criminal foreign influences. They're valuing them in others too. Only let realize. You think Garden Street and Hartford had legal representation? True. Maria Fazzino knows, and Stephen Stocco, her husband knows, or reportedly her husband. John Malone knows, her boyfriend, whatever he is. Other people associated with the area of Maria Fazzino knows. I never had anything to do with her until after she graduated high school. She's involved with sequence shifts with that. I never knew who she looked like in high school. There's a girl that looks similar to her. I don't know, might be her or not. Associated with soccer and with the parks used criminally. You know, the police forms are using the media criminally, and then they pretend that that they're taking it personal. We don't like their reporting. If we try to report any of the natures of crime act, this is not even getting into the rest of it. They did so many natures of crime acts with their little stories, attaching me and others to fake relationships to strangers, fake positions. These are people with crimes with federal criminals in cases with pension thefts, crimes with unions, crimes with foreign and domestic police pilfering money from unions and stuff like that. Bookmakers, Shylock's proven associated with the federal criminals, like a few of them, like a Johnny LeConte, and one that lived next to Eric Jensen on the Dearborn Street in Newington. He's also reported confessed involved with the database crimes with people that were put in classes with me and criminal uses of my, these are people with crimes with the daughter of John LeConte. And he's one of the co-defendants of former director of the FBI, Robert Luskin. And with Thaddeus Grabowski, also reported confessed crimes with two Mendez brothers, with a corner that two Mendez brother police and that two DeMaine brothers and their family are also reported confessed and demonstrated criminally involved with the John Mayano, with sequence shifts, with drug crimes, with database crimes, identity theft crime acts, as police forms, involved criminally with Fox Connecticut News, motivated, influenced, and used for fake news crime acts, sickly, distinctly, and non-distinctly, simultaneously with WFSB. These are identity theft crime acts. Crime acts roles recorded and confessed by their sources interbranch in their drug clicks with crimes with foreign and domestic, including with Russians, with the policing of the on-off campuses, with CCSU, with downtown Hartford, with the Charlie Bowes, and with a Casper family also reported and confessed crimes with the identity theft clique. I never had anything to do. I never had a class with Charlie Bowes or with Chet Casper. So even though he's my age, I never even saw them in my life. And I noted the brief exception, which will, apart with sequence shifts, apart with crimes with the houses at the corner on Church Street, and then at the corner, and then in the pattern all the way up that to CCSU, on off CCSU with CCSU / Paul Manafort Drive. They're pretending they're worried about him being crimes with Russians. These are interbranch actors recorded and with military, foreign, and domestic, like Kuwait, with sexual circles and stuff like that, with leaderships of the prisons involved with crime natures. In other words, with the overt criminal enterprises, with the private ones, with the intercampuses database used criminally. They're using the identity of the ground criminally. Its value, which is our nature, as value, and value is our nature. There's value as nature, simultaneously, distinctly, and non-distinct. Value is nature, and nature is value, simultaneously and progressively. And so we don't need to debate debatable. See, but they're forcing fake conversations, identity theft crime acts, and they're pretending that's news. The news is with four sustained natures of crimes of all different kinds juxtaposed, whereas and how they're using they used and used the Saudi women for crimes also interstate facilitated by a Scalora family recorded with the DeMoro family also on off CCSU federal crime rolls with ones with a sequence shift proven from inside the trade center attack context. And now as these people with a Leahy family also with the child sex offenders and had fake conversations with me, forged doctors' names and fake conversations with me and about legal cases, and they also had WFSB do that. They were also criminally involved before that, as reported, and as reported, confessed, and demonstrated by a Fianza family and other men and women associated with mayors and with elections criminally. Two of them pretending to be against what they knew they were for. This is a crime method. This is regarding the crime methods and natures of covering life progressions from that are interbranch, manifest, valued individually, grouped, and together, distinctly and non-distinctly that way. So we have liars that know they're worthless as titles, the same way they were originally. It's not hard to explain. They need to pretend emotions and passions, and they need to keep each age of fact treatment only nature, only capable of a quality of fact treatment nature, dishonest with sequence. Delusions wrought with premises treatments, criminally foreign influence with premises treatments, right through ages. And then only that's a nature of debate that has sensibilities of as positive that maintains the identity of each location used criminally. Maintain that value because people don't understand. This is why there's mandated law, but they're not following mandated law. You see what I'm saying? Stay on the crime acts I'm mentioning here, the rape threats, and then the sequence shifts, because that was before when they were. Then what do? You're obligated to call and report that to the school, right? Tried to report such to the police before that. They were already involved with it. So your next step is to report that to the school, right? Already tried to report to the courts. I was trying other ways of listing because now they're recorded as natures. Now their natures are recorded. No criminal insidiousness nature, because there are predicate acts involved here too with the Leahy family and with their roles with the New Britain Superior Court, with their predicate acts and with their covering it up by hurting kids and by lying to the kids and their parents about me. And by using fake news to do that, using fake Facebook pages to do that, using fake YouTube pages to do that, using extortion to do that, using theft to do that, breaking in a house, pretending that they're using laws. They broke in my house and threatened me about a Scalora family because they need to pretend I know him.